Howdy everybody, how y'all doing? Well, I know that here recently I've identified, or as the kids would say, self-identified, right? As a casual gamer. But one of the things I've been really thinking about, especially with all the stuff going in the news, the gates we talked about recently, is it even possible to be a casual gamer anymore? Because in the past, you'd be able to have a console, right? Like maybe you grew up with a Nintendo or Sega, or you had friends with one, so you could go over and play at their house, right? Yeah, and maybe you even go back to the Atari days, right? You could play Pong, you could play Star Wars, or God forbid you had to suffer through E.T., right? We've all heard the stories, and I think they still offer counseling. I think that should be allowed on the insurance because it was so scarring. I'm not a professional, so that may not actually be accurate. I digress. But it seemed like even back then, the cost, even with inflation, right? I remember when the Super Nintendo came out, and my brother and I, we'll call him Brother Waddle, we pulled our money together, we'd saved our Christmas money, and we went out and bought that Super Nintendo. And I think we just got, included, obviously, the Mario game, right? We brought it home, we had fun. I think actually either included or had F-Zero. Honestly, I can't remember because I'm getting old. The point is, we definitely had some fun games, and we really enjoyed it, right? And those are the kind of games you could invite friends over, you could play, like, Link to the Past. I think when I was in college, I took a few days and beat it. It wasn't one of those games that takes 70 hours like nowadays, but you could be invested, you could be Donkey Kong and all that stuff, and it was fun, right? So we had games with save files, and it took more than a few hours to beat them, and it was a lot of fun. But now you've got the whole current gen games, right? You've got the PlayStation, which kind of came out with their new PlayStation, which wasn't the Slim. It was just a smaller version, I guess, for parts and manufacturing. So then they could come out a few months later now and announce the real PlayStation Slim. Interesting, right? And, that's now that these consoles are actually readily available for the public, because when the Xbox and PlayStation launched their current gen consoles and there was a chip shortage, well, we were all just out of luck. Nobody could get any. All the scams for a fully priced PlayStation or Xbox box, right? It was rough out there for people who really wanted to play, really cared about games. But now we can start getting the current gen consoles and pay $80 to $90 for regular release, not even all the special editions it used to be. So when it comes to time and investment and money investment, which as we've talked about before, time equals money, so that's a lot of investment, right? So that's enough. It's hard to be a casual gamer because you've got hobbies, you got a life, even if you collect things, it just takes a toll on the wallet, right? And if you want to play through all these games, they're going to take some time. Like a few years ago, I kind of disappeared because I was playing Persona 5 Royale. And it was a lot of fun, but that took, I think, 155 hours, right? Just for the first playthrough? Yeah. And I haven't even gotten to the second one. So, there's that, right? Okay. But now, here's the kicker. Now, video games, because of the developer, because of the way, a few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, they said that video games were the next pinnacle of entertainment. All the people who had been over in Hollywood and everywhere else in film jumped over to video games. Not to mention all the people that grew up playing video games and thought, well, if I just play video games or can create video games, right? Yeah. I do feel like some people have been phoning it in, right? I'm not saying everybody, because there are some amazing creators, but there's also people out there that I think they chose video games because they thought it was going to be an easy path. Well, was it? It's kind of hard to say now that it's just a way to phone it in. Because, unfortunately, not only is the price and everything and the time investment gone up, but now we've got all this polarizing political opinions that started even before the election cycle. Folks, it's only kicking up more. And when I say polarizing, I don't mean like the North Pole, the South Pole where I'm from. I'm talking about all that division. But apparently, if you don't agree with somebody, then you shouldn't matter or be a part of it. I'm kind of confused on that one, because if you think about it, gamers and video gaming is only a small niche, if you will, of the population. And while it's becoming more popular, there's people who want to get into it. Like I said, there's a whole lot more investment buying a console and a few good games, and enough controllers. That gets you over $1,000 pretty dang quick. And hopefully you like it, right? Hopefully it doesn't turn into this thing that turns into really fancy paperweight or doorstop. So, yeah. Whether you're just trying to talk about what's really going on in games, and same thing with movies, it's one thing to say, if you don't like it, don't buy it, right? Well, we've all seen how that turns out. People don't buy it, and then people wonder what happened to the industry. Well, telling people that if you don't agree, that you shouldn't even play video games, that kind of seems a bit extreme, right? Have we come to the point where we just expect that if somebody doesn't agree with us or share our opinion, it's not even worth having a conversation? I mean, I'm really curious about that. Is that what people think? Is that what you guys think out there? Because I feel like there's just as many people out there in the world that would be willing to have a conversation with somebody and learn about what they believe. Just to understand, not even to change somebody's mind, Maybe to learn something they didn't know. As there are as people that just want to run around screaming why they're right. Or maybe I should just get off Twitter, because maybe there's less people screaming than I think, just because I'm reading all caps letters. So let me tell you, after a while, can get to you. So, there you have it. Is it really possible to be a casual gamer? I'm not sure, but I love video games, and I love the entertainment culture, so I'm not going anywhere. I guess I'm just going to be, once again, a little bit more intentional about how I spend my time and money, right? And I don't know, sometimes it makes me just want to say, forget it all, I'm just going to play Fortnite on my Switch forever. Because, well, I know there's people have issues with that model, because it doesn't have a storyline, and it's just this instance over and over and over again. It's consistent, and you can spend as much or as little money on it as you want, right? It's still a time investment, but at least you get what you pay for, right? You know what you're getting. And half the time, that's at least half the battle. Well, I guess I'll go start up the Switch. Maybe play some Fortnite. Maybe I'll see you guys online. You know, maybe I'll go download Helldivers 2 and see if I can get a squad together and have some fun. Either way, whether casual gaming still exists, I still think entertainment should be fun. And if the only way people can find validity is attacking everybody else or disagreeing and telling them that they can't be part of their cool kids club, well, maybe you should go start your own cool kids club somewhere else instead of telling everybody they're not cool enough to be part of your club when it's just everybody trying to get along and enjoy the entertainment. Well, that's all I really got to say about that. So, till next time, make sure your controllers are charged, you've got enough snacks and energy drinks to make it through the raid. Well, see you next time. Bye!